We're showing our Husky pride today on the A-List. We are back in front of our glittery gold backdrop, my second home. Actually, it's my first home. It's inside of my home, but you know what I'm talking about. We are back in front of our backdrop talking today about attendance. What? What does that have to do with anything? Mr. Williams, the principal of Hillcrest Elementary, came to me and said that, hey, we're having an issue at school with attendance, and we really want the community to find out. And what better way than the A-List and all the people that your Facebook page reaches? We're up to like 12,000 people a week. 12,000, not 1,200. Even 1,200, I'd be happy about that. 12,000 people a week see this page. You are at the spot right now. This is the place to be on Facebook. This is the place to be on YouTube. Tons of people are watching this. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. Mr. Williams asked me to use my platform to tell the community about the importance of attendance. And this doesn't just have to do with Hillcrest Elementary. This has to do with any students. My mom used to teach elementary school, and a lot of people thought, well, since they're just counting, since they're just learning letters, like there's plenty of time to do that, so we'll just take them out of school. Guys, what do we know about the young child's brain? That is when they are able to be so much more sponge-like. That is when they are able to soak in all the information, and they need the continuity every day. Take it from me, you know I have young kids. If I don't tell them the same thing every single day, 15,000 times a day, well, they're still not going to do it. But there's a higher chance that they just might if I just keep repeating that message over and over again. That's what school is. That's what school does. Stay tuned to the end of the video and make sure you watch when Mr. Williams describes the incentives that principals get from the state, the grants that can be funneled down to your children if they have good attendance. And it starts on the individual family level. So without further ado, let's sit down for our interview with Mr. Williams. Hi everybody, I'm Allie Vasquez. You probably know me from this page. I'm super involved in the Hillcrest community, and we're here with Mr. Williams.
Hi everyone, hola.
Oh, look at this. Mr. Williams is the principal at Hillcrest, and he has something very important that he wants to share with everyone in the community. It affects everybody, really, right? I mean, it's not just a school policy, because it's something that has to do with the parents, and it has to do with the type of funding that you guys receive. It's very important. Attendance, 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 okay? Mr. Williams, please tell us a little bit about what is so important about attendance. What's the big deal? What's the big deal, Mr. Williams?
Well, the bigger picture of all of this is students are here at school learning every single day. And every lesson builds on each other. Everything they're doing in class is allowed to, kind of allow them to build their understanding and grow as a student, grow as a learner. The days they miss, no matter how good the teacher is, that second time that lesson's delivered without all the materials or without all of the resources there is never as good as the first. There's lots of different things happening, like collaboration, peer work, discussions, questions. A lot of that real-time learning has to happen that day. So being here and being at school is vital.
What are the implications of not attending school in the long term?
That's a great question, because it talks about like habit forming. You build really good habits and allow that student to understand the importance of school, the importance of being here, and you're building good habits because research says, if we don't build good habits and students are absent a lot, those chronic absences or that absenteeism, when they hit middle school or high school, it changes, it actually gets worse. It's really hard to change those habits, and those habits can lead to some detrimental situations where now we're thinking about, failing grades, not being able to do some of the things we want to do.
Truancy. A real thing.
Dropout.
Yeah, dropout.
And we know that dropout doesn't allow the person, the individual, maybe to do exactly what they want to do. You need to build those good habits early. You need to make sure that they understand the importance of school and really what they get out of it.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people say, well, I have 2 kids. I got to take one to the doctor. And so they say, I'll just take both. It's easier for me to just do it all at one time. What is your answer to that?
I think we have to be very thoughtful about accommodating families, because we're a family business, right? We care about our families. We need to know that. We understand families have certain needs, certain situations. It's very important, though, that we're part of that family, right? And we need that student to be here. And if an older sibling, an older son or daughter is missing school because the younger one's going to an appointment, well, now they both miss school. It really just adds then to the bigger problem of missing some of those things. And my goodness, as that curriculum gets more and more rigorous and the more days you miss, you are really putting yourself behind. And if you're behind by 3rd grade, it is really extremely hard to catch up with your peers. As families, as a community and a school community, you want a rigorous curriculum. You want challenge, because when that student leaves a school door, whether it's career or college, they need to be ready and prepared to be able to do that work, whatever it might be. School is a big part of that. It's beyond just the X's and O's or the numbers or the reading. It's also how to work with peers, how to collaborate, how to think. We're working on teaching students how to think. And if you're missing a lot of days of school, you're missing those opportunities.
And the experience of being challenged. So attendance not only is an issue as far as the learning of the student, but there are some actual consequences through FCPS.
Yeah, we have, FCPS does have a policy, and it's something we have to think about very, carefully, because if a student were to miss a certain amount of days of school within a quarter, the teacher and the principal, they could work together, and that student could fail that quarter because they missed too much time. It's 5 days or more, and they could fail a quarter or get mark in grades K through 2. That's below grade level kind of thing. They're going to fail that opportunity. If they miss 27 days or more by the 3rd quarter, I can make a decision as a principal. Does that student need to be retained and held back a grade? Now, listen, again, we don't typically do that, but that is the policy, and you need to know that policy, because that's certainly enacted in middle school, certainly enacted in high school, and that becomes that cycle of you need to have good attendance, and you'll never even have to worry about that policy. So we just need that to happen. We need to make parents understand unlawful absences. Unlawful absences, to explain that, is when their students are absent and there's no note from the parent. We at the school, I as a principal, really want to know that information. A doctor's appointment, they were sick, something has to come. Because it's important, especially when you get in the upper grades. Sometimes kids, might not show up to school and parents don't know about it. Having that note is key, and I've dealt with that before, so I'm saying that as a parent myself, and as a principal, we need those notes so you can communicate with us that your student was absent that day and everything is where it should be. That's the key point
safety
right there.
Is the most important. You can only control what happens to them while they're here, and you want to make it as safe and enjoyable as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people think that maybe if I just make a phone call the secretary real quick, I know it'll be fine. I'll just tell them, oh, sorry, we had an appointment this morning. Is that the same? Does that make it a lawful absence if someone just makes a phone call?
Another great point to make. No, that alerts the school, so we can certainly manage that day and understand what's happening with that day, because we worry about when our students are here, especially if they miss a lot of days. We start to worry a little bit about that. We need that note still, because then we keep it for our records. For any other reason for attendance, we might need to be able to track that information down. Parents must put in a note to make it a lawful absence.
So you are kind of held to a standard also for attendance. And not only, when I say you, I really mean Hillcrest Elementary. Tell us what is happening on a state level where Mr. Williams and Hillcrest get judged by attendance.
Yeah, well, it's important. At the county level, we expect the school-wide 96% attendance rate, meaning we take all the days in the school, and hopefully 96% of our students were there 96% of the time, right? That's important. We fell a little bit under that goal that we had at the school level and at the county level. And schools actually get a report card. And one of the things that we get graded on is how we manage and work through chronic absences. That's when you miss 10% of your school year. Students, if they were enrolled for 50 days and they miss 5 days of school because of whatever reason, that can equate them as chronically absent.
Even excused?
Even excused, yeah. I think from the state, right, They give us 15 total points for absenteeism, and last year we got 12 of those 15 points. So while we did pretty well, I'm worried that if we don't keep maintaining and thinking about attendance and getting our students here, that 12 out of 15 points that we kind of get when it comes to the state report card could be less than that, because at any given time things can fluctuate.
It would be so unfortunate for something to not be received here because of attendance. Like,
yeah,
we have, I mean, through working with the PTA, I know that like we have lots of things that we're planning, lots of different activities and lots of different ways that we're trying to do more for the kids, and it would be so unfortunate if we couldn't do everything.
I don't want that to be a barrier to our success and achievement, and that's something that we all can contribute to, we all can help with. Again, I want to say that we'll always respect family situations and dynamics and understand that. We're I think one of the best at it, right? We know those things have to be something to think about, but I also know through my records and my data, I also know there's probably some situations that we could probably be better at.
If your family sits down and have a conversation about like, hey, how could we, we do have a neighbor who offered, to pick up the kids from the bus if we have an appointment, let's use that more often because, we gotta do better.
It makes our community stronger by having a strong school, and we have a strong school by having a strong connection between the families and the school staff. And we're working really hard at that. So being here at school is pretty much the first and best thing you can do to make our school great.
Okay, Mr. Williams, so what are your final thoughts on attendance? What would you like to tell really the Hillcrest community about, if they have any questions, if they have concerns, what can they do?
I appreciate that opportunity to think about it that way. Obviously, being at school is the number one goal.
Of course.
If you're sick, we understand that. We don't want students who are sick coming to school, so we have to be thoughtful about that. We need notes from home. We need you to attend school as often and as much as possible. Communicate with school staff, and we will help you with anything that you might need. And if you have any questions for us, don't hesitate to come and ask. We have staff that are available to support you. I'm available to answer your questions. It's just important, again, that we all work together. We improve attendance as much as we can, because I don't want those things like students not being there affect them in a negative way. And being here is, to my mind and to my knowledge, is the best place to be.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank
you.
you.
Talking to you today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
See you at the next meeting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I am so excited about the work that I get to do at Hillcrest Elementary, and I am so happy that now more people have seen the importance of attendance. The PTA at Hillcrest Elementary needs those resources, and if we can get those by just showing up at school, let's do it. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for our Spring Hillcrest Fest. Guys, it's going to be huge. I'm going to be hosting a huge blowout in the Hillcrest neighborhood. There's going to be music. There's going to be food. There's going to be so many opportunities to fundraise for Hillcrest Elementary, and I am so excited. Coming your way this spring, you're going to hear all about it. So I'm just going to drop a little bit now because I'm going to talk about it a bajillion times more. Thank you for joining us today on the A List, where the letter of the day was A for attendance. See you next week.